Okay, you guys, I have the Umarex DX17 here. This was bought for $20. Kind of reminds me of them old marksman pistols. And the way this one works is you pull back this right here, and that cocks that spring, kind of like an airsoft pistol in a way. And then in here, it holds the BBs or one single pellet. And what I did is I put a laser pointer on here from Gamma just to show you guys what it would look like if you had a pointer on there. These usually shoot kind of canted either to the left or to the right when you buy them. Kind of like the old marksmans, you know, you shoot them and you'd find that they'd be a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. However, this one, at about 10 yards, if you aim for, say, that black dot like I did right there, they all kind of end up at a 10-yard zero somewhat. Also, I did try a plate out in the yard, a 10-yard metal serving plate at 20 yards, and this is at 10 yards, but I was able to hit the plate by aiming on the top part of the 10-inch plate, and it would hit sometime or somewhere around the middle or the bottom. So it can get out to 20 yards. The laser, this is just used for correction. If you guys want to correct your windage or something like that indoors, and you can see that red dot or whatever, you could shoot inside and shoot like cans and stuff like that. But anyway, let me give you the details on this. So what I did is I used a Crossman wad cutter, and this is the one you see at 10 yards right here, getting a 4-inch group for 5 shots right there. And then at 5 yards, getting 1.5-inch group with the same pellet, 7.4 grain Crossman wad cutter. Now you could switch pellets, you might have different results. Also, you might have different results if you switch pellets, where it's going to the left or the right. Or it might center for you if you're lucky, it might center. So anyway, we got BBs here. I cronied the BBs, they're 180 feet per second. So this is new, so over time it might break in, it might shoot higher, it might shoot lower, but this is kind of a general average. So say from 180 to 200, so it's close to what they claim. The pellet is about 160 feet per second average for 7.4. I did try some lighter pellets. It didn't make much of a difference, but lighter pellets help just a little bit more maybe. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is lubing this thing. When you lube this thing, what you can do is you can cock this all the way back, and then what you do is you stick some silicone oil in there, just one little squirt of silicone oil. Now when you're putting the straw in, you're going to bottom out right about there, and you have to keep pushing it so you can feel for that hole. And once you feel that tiny hole, you push it a little further, then you're inside that chamber, so that you can lube that chamber. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys. This is how I lube, them older marksman ones and spring piston ones like these, even airsoft guns. This has worked for me pretty good for them spring-powered airsoft guns. Just one little squirt of silicone spray, some kind of silicone lubricant. So just spraying down the barrel does no good. You have to find that other hole where the air comes through in that chamber, and it's usually right about there. You can feel it, and then it goes through, and then just give it a quick squirt. So that's your maintenance for this. So once again, the sights, you can always, the sights are pretty good. They're kind of tall, and that's kind of nice. That's probably why it gets out to 10 yards here without too much of a drop. This is where I was aiming. I was aiming at the dot right here, and these were the shots where they were falling. So it's shooting a little bit to the left. And like I said, if you have the laser on here, you can always correct that if you're having fun indoors. If you're having fun indoors or something like that, you can always make it so that the shots match where the laser is pointing. You can adjust that laser. So that's an idea. The good thing about the gun too is that it does have kind of a nice look to it, a nice feel in your hand. So some of the target ideas that I'm going to show you here are kind of interesting. I usually do this in other videos too. Target ideas at 5 and 10 yards. I'll show you here. At 5 yards, we can use these Army Men. Buy these at the dollar store. These are about 1 inch across, 3/4, you know, like 3/4 to 1 inch maybe. Army Men for 5 yards. A Dixie cup for 5 yards. Okay. Plastic animals, you can go deer hunting at 5 yards. So there you go. You always want to go deer hunting with the little pellet pistol. There you go. And 10 yards. 10 yards, an ideal target for this pistol would be a pop can, because if you look down here, you got to remember this is a smooth bore now, so when the pellets come out, they have no guidance whatsoever. So it appears that 10 yards, if you can get that sight straightened out somehow, you're going to be smack on at 10 yards for pop cans, and ideally that's what this pistol is for. It's not a target pistol, it's not a high velocity pistol, it's just made for plinking fun. So here you got a pop can, you set up that laser to hit right here, knock over them pop cans all day long at 10 yards, which is pretty cool actually for a $20 gun. This one's more, I look at this one as more of an indoor gun, you guys, this one here, because it's inexpensive and it's cheap for anybody to own. And I showed you some fun targets, you know, that you can use for ideas and stuff like that. And as far as cardboard boxes, it went through the pellet went through one side of a cardboard box, but not the other. A pop can, it did crack the front end of the pop can, but it didn't go in. So that gives you some kind of idea of the power of this thing. So it doesn't really have a whole lot of power. It's kind of like them older Marksmans, if you remember them. I had them way back. So if you want to get it for $20 just for the looks and throw a laser on it or something, you can. The benefit of having the Weaver rail down here and the laser on this is the fact that you can take this off now and you can put it on other guns that you have. You don't have to leave it on here, you can switch it out. So whenever you get airsoft guns or pellet guns or whatever, see if they have a rail on the bottom, accessory rail, because then you can always mount that laser to fix the trajectory if you need to. Like the Gammo that I bought, P27 I think it was, the sights were off, and I tried so many different pellets and it seemed like the sights were still off, so I had to put a laser on there, laser pointer, and I just use that for indoors. But I'm still trying different pellets to see if I can straighten it out, because one pellet might go this direction, one pellet might be center, one pellet might be over here, so you have to test it. So always test, always keep testing. And your groups too, you know, these are just quick groups. These aren't you know, a big science experiment here. I just did it quickly from, you know, pistol rest right here. I used a pistol rest and braced myself as much as I could. But you guys might get better groups. So, but just thought I'd share that with you with this pistol. Tell you what I think about it. I think it's worth the $20 if you put that laser pointer on there. So it'll make it a lot of fun indoors for what it is. So anyway, thanks for watching, you guys.